back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Cassandra and this is my husband. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I'm so grateful for your love and your support. So in today's video, you can tell from the title, we're finally giving you guys the video you've been waiting for, which is a story of how we met. So if you're new here, we have been married for a year and 2 months now. So you guys have always wanted to see the story of how we met. Like, you wanted us to tell you the story of how we met. So finally, you guys, this video is here. We're going to share how we met. And yeah, so I'm just going to let my husband introduce himself.
Hi guys, so my name is Wazia Piri. I am Cassandra's husband. Like she said, we've been married for a year, 2 months now. And basically we'll be sharing our story as to how we met. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please get comfortable, grab a drink, start watching this video with a friend. Like, make sure you're comfortable because this is a very interesting story. And yeah, it's just so amazing to see how we started and then looking at where we are now. So we're going to get right into the video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below at the end of this video. Or if you have any thoughts concerning this video, please leave them down below also. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you go. We don't watch videos here for free. We make sure we are subscribed, okay? And also turn on your post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. So let's get right into today's video. Okay, so Mr. Piri, how did we meet?
Okay, so I met my wife in a very peculiar way. 2 years ago, I had a routine where I went to the gym and I was very particular as to what I eat immediately after I finish my workout. So this particular day, I decided to go to a particular mall in town and grab myself some fish and chips. But I think I need to say this before we dive into this story. I was very particular as to, already in my mind, I had a preconceived mind of what the scene would look like, or how I would meet my mate or my wife. And in my mind, I was thinking that probably it would be at camp, at church, some church retreat, or maybe some close friend within the circles, you know. But it seems God had different plans for us and for me as an individual. So I go to this particular mall, and as I am walking down those corridors, minding my own business, I tell this story the same way. I saw something sparkle, and it wasn't jewelry.
It was me. The love of your life.
It wasn't jewelry. It was my now beloved wife. She was minding her own business, just doing her own thing.
I was minding my own business. And please, side note, I had just come out of a relationship that wasn't very healthy according to me. So I wanted to just take some time out to myself. Like, I had just left a relationship. You know, that's ladies, like, you get me, like, you know that thing where you come out of a relationship, you're like, okay, no, now I'm just gonna do me, I'll focus on me, self-discovery. And then lo and behold, I met this man that I ended up getting married to. So just side note there.
So I convinced myself, because remember, I've got this preconceived mind as to, the place and
the ideal place.
The ideal place.
Yeah, even for me, I should say, I never intended on meeting anyone from my workspace, like dating people from my workspace or anything like that. So I never even entertained the thought of dating someone from my workspace or entertaining anyone in that way. Like for me, it was just work, go home, and then do your other business. But work was work.
Yeah, so with that preconceived mind, I talked myself, convincingly so, before I went up to get my fish and chips. I convinced myself not to walk into that store. So I asked her for the cheap item, the cheapest item rather.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and she said it's definitely not where you're looking. You must look over here. So, as I walked out that store, I left saying, or I left appreciating the grace that you used to explain those things to me. I don't know about you people, but yeah, you've walked into some stores, and usually the reception you get is not as good. And so I was thankful and I was grateful to her for having responded in the way that she did. My intention was to get something and put it on lay-by, because at the time my pockets were depleted, and
he was so honest.
Right.
He said, right now I only have 300 kwacha in my pocket. I can't afford what you're telling me.
Right.
So I will come back. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I knew at first glance that my wife was not the lady you whistle down.
No, ma'am.
You just get that reception. I think that's why I appreciate tete-a-tetes or interpersonal conversations. You can get something of the characteristics of an individual.
Yeah.
At that point, I was able to read my wife's soft-spokenness, her speech, that have been consistent till this day, by the way. And so...
What can I say?
And so... So after I told her that I was broke, and I couldn't afford anything that was 1,000 kwacha or 2,000 kwacha at the time. I convinced her that I would be back. In my mind, what I was thinking was, I need to know this young lady. I need to know what she's about. I need to know who she is as an individual. And so I wasn't just head and nose first into the river. I remember immediately after I walked out to the store, I called one of my close friends, Mapalo. A very close friend.
Now, very close friend to me as well. He's like a friend.
Yeah, so I remember calling him and telling him, bro, pray. I found this damsel, pray. I don't know anything about her. I don't know her religious stance as an individual. I don't know who she is basically, but we just had a short conversation, and I'm hoping I could frequent the store and probably get to know her better and ask more direct, deliberate questions, of which I did. But I think just a side note, it was that same period that I finally got back to the store, and I wasn't completely honest. That's something that I later on apologized for. So what I told my wife was that we were moving store to store, and
the lies, guys. I should have been mad.
Yeah, but
I should have been mad and even told you bye. That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you lied.
Yeah.
You lied to me.
I apologized.
But he apologized.
So I told her that we were moving store to store, because remember, I knew this is not the young lady that you asked. I think this was my third visit to the store. Yeah,
and at this point, I had also, like, from the first time I saw him, guys, I thought he was cute. I was like, this guy, okay. But then I told myself, no, don't do that here. Like, Cassandra says work, okay? I here to work. So The second time he came into the store, I was able to recognize him from the first time I met him.
Oh yeah.
But then I was acting like it's nothing, you know, like I'm not trying to show you I like you.
You know, when I walked into that store, I was nervous. My knees were knocking on each other's doors, and
That's so cute.
my palms were sweaty. And so I walked into that store, and she exclaimed, saying, "What did you say? You said
you're back."
You're back.
I said you're back.
And that for me was a relief. I literally had a sigh of relief. I don't think I showed it.
No, you didn't.
But I literally had a sigh of relief, knowing that this person remembers me. I think this was on my second visit. She remembers me.
Can you imagine? He kept on coming back.
Yeah.
He couldn't get enough of this. He kept on coming back. Look at me. You kept on coming back.
So I walked into the store, and this is me trying to get at least a date from her. At least for me, in my mind, I was thinking maybe we could sit down across each other and just have a deliberate date where I could get to know something about you, because I wasn't going to should I say this? Okay, let me say this before I say what I wanted to say. I'm one individual that really took relationships seriously, and I wasn't just going to kick it for the sake of kicking it, or being in a relationship because it makes me feel good, or because it's fun. I was the type of person who, if I am to be if I will pursue you, it will be for one goal and one goal alone, and that's marriage. And so I will not be deliberate in my intentions of pursuit, and leave someone doubting as to whether or not they know where this is heading.
Do you see why I married him?
And so,
do you see why I married him?
Yeah. So
this is why. This is why. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. If I was going to be intentional, I was really going to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
And so I really needed to know what Cassandra was all about. Only then would I commit to pursuing her, even till the marriage day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it wise I should mention that, so that it puts everything that I'm going to say into context.
Yeah, so basically that's how we met, at my workplace.
Yeah, but I need to tell them this as well. So we go into the store. I tell her that we're moving store to store, trying to basically get appraisals, or trying to get the best feedback or the best reception that we would receive. Walked into the store, and I told her that the truth was that I and some friends were going through each store trying to get the best reception that we would receive. And apparently her store, because of the reception that she gave me, her store has come out number one. And by way of appreciating the reception we received, or by way of giving gratitude to her, we could have a date.
Yeah,
we'd have a lunch date where I would ask her personal questions: what church she went to, what her religious stance is, who she is and as an individual, how long she's been working for the said store. And yeah, just to get to know her better. So she looked at me with eyebrows raised, because she was wondering, that sounded a little bit fishy.
I know you.
So yeah, she said, let me think about it. Well, she wanted to actually give an answer.
Yeah, I almost said no, because I was thinking lunch, stranger, stranger danger. I can't go out for lunch with someone I don't know. So I was going to say no. Yeah,
so I said, well, when I saw that, I read the room, and I said, well, before you give me a response, let me come back after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was very patient.
Yeah, you were very patient.
I was very patient. So I came back after 2 weeks, and I asked her what she thought about it, and she gave an affirmative answer. In between the mix, there was her standing me up in a sense. Yeah, she stood me up, and yeah, it wasn't.
I wanted
it wasn't,
to see.
It wasn't. It was.
I wanted to see how
No,
much.
don't do that. Yeah,
you
she really gave me question marks, because I was thinking, I was like, so much for the grace that I received at the.
I wanted to see how much you were willing.
But anyway, I persevered, and here
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went on our first date, which was so great. Like, it was amazing. We spoke for a very long time, and for me, I remember feeling so comfortable and calm. It didn't feel like this person was a stranger. I was just so comfortable to talk to him. And we both ended up opening so much to each other about each other on the first date. And was this even a date? Did we consider it a date?
Yeah, I think it was a planned date, so
Okay.
it does pass for a date.
Yeah.
I think I tried to guide the conversation to one that was deliberate, one that was intentional.
Yeah, and it was.
So I'm not asking her what her favorite color is.
No, like, what's your favorite color?
We're not doing that here.
No, we had like a very, very genuine conversation,
Right.
very intentional. Really just getting to know each other, knowing what Cassandra is about, and knowing what he's about. So
we shared our
conversation.
religious beliefs. It was then that I got to discover my wife was saved. She's a Christian, and so we were of like minds. It was really a fruitful conversation.
Yeah, very, very fruitful. Yeah, so it's from that meeting or date that we had that we're able to meet again for the second time. And from there, we just kept getting closer and closer. Like, the more we knew about each other, the more we kept on getting closer to each other. Then at some point, I left Lusaka. I was out of town for school. And I remember around that time, like right before I left, is when we started dating, like when he officially asked me to be his girlfriend. So we started dating, and then now this was a new relationship, and I was away from Lusaka for school, so we were not seeing each other because he had work here. He couldn't, just be anywhere. So he had work here, I had school there. So we were not seeing each other, and then this is like a new relationship. So at some point, things got a bit rocky, that the relationship almost ended. And that was like maybe like a month or 2 months in. I can't remember really.
So that aspect of things becoming a little bit rocky. So I remained back here at home, and this is 6 months into the relationship, if my memory serves me right. And I am
not a month.
No. This was about 6 months into the relationship.
Oh, Cassandra.
Yeah, so
whoa. Don't you remember that?
So this was 6 months into the relationship when if not 4 to 6 months into the relationship. And I'm trying to get counsel from people that I trust, people that I believe have a say in my life, people that read their Bibles, so that I get biblical counsel. And so I'm basically just picking their minds on what they think about the relationship. This is very important because no man is an island, and you need people that have gone before you to be able to give you their peace of mind. And I think it was helpful. I think the rockiness was healthy because it made us know what needed to be dealt with in our relationship. And it got us to a place where we questioned how serious we were, and how much we really wanted to be committed to this relationship, and what the end goal was. It really made us define a lot.
Because I think we didn't do that. Like, when we started dating, we didn't do that. Maybe it's because
it was on the surface. I think we address some issues, but
yeah, we address some issues, but not like everything.
Yeah. I mean, when two people are in love, there is only so much objectiveness that you could portray in your relationship and in your pursuit for each other. And so because that is the case, and because you are clouded by so many emotions, you need an outside eye, preferably God fearing friends, elder couples that have been in the game for a long time, who could be able to speak into your relationship. And I think that really helped us a great deal. Looking back now, it really did.
Yeah, looking back now, it really did. But then in that moment, when he told me no, I think
it was hard.
Yeah, he came to me. Okay, I'm not, mind you, I'm not in Osaka.
Yeah.
He comes to me, he calls me and says, I think we should take a step back and just try to think things through. Then we come back. I was just like, listen, if you go, there's no coming back. There's no coming back, because I'm already getting used to you, and then like we're already so close, and then you're telling me you want to take a step back and then come back. I was just like, no, we're not going to do that. And I'm happy we didn't do that, because honestly, I don't think I was going to come back.
Well, there is a sovereignty of God, but yeah, that's a discussion for another
day. But me, I was just going to say,
I think we'd still be married though.
Me, I was going to go back to me saying, I'm done with this. It's just time to focus on myself. But I'm glad we didn't do that. Yeah. I'm glad we actually went through that process. And I think that's advice I would give to anyone really in a relationship. Relationships must be defined. You must know where you're going. You just don't date for the sake of dating and having fun, of saying, no, I'm just in the phase of getting to know people. You need to define what you're doing.
Why do you think that's the case?
What do you mean?
Like, why do you think that's the case? Why do you need to define relationships?
As Christians.
Yeah, right, of course.
As Christians, you don't date for fun. Yeah. You have to have the concept of marriage in your mind.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important for you to define relationships.
Right. Basically, that's our little story as to how we met, and the mix up around the journey of committing to this. It wasn't all rosy, but I think the Lord really saw us through, like we mentioned, friends, family, and just the beauty of approval from those people that you love and respect. I think that's what just gave us the affirmation that indeed we're doing the right thing.
We dated for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we got engaged in 2020 November. And then we got married on the 3rd of April in 2021. So that's just like in a nutshell the time space or time frames of how things happened. So because our relationship was very defined from the very beginning, it was very easy for us to make the decision of getting married, because marriage was always part of the
ultimate goal.
Yes, it was always part of the plan.
Yeah.
So when the time came for us to take the next step, it wasn't very hard for us to make that decision, and it didn't just come out from nowhere, because we already knew what we wanted.
Yeah. It was like almost everything was leading up to that moment.
To that moment, yeah.
And so we were not. I think even the people that we shared with were not as surprised, because I mean it was a progressive. Where our families knew about each other. My family knew about him. His family knew about me, and they got to meet me. My family also got to meet him. They got to interact with him. They also just got to know him. Like, oh, this is Mr. Piri and this is Cassandra.
So it wasn't like a shock even to our parents. They're like, no, I just got my mom and I say I want to get married, and she's saying, I don't know, which man do you want to get married to? She knew the person. So it wasn't like, just out of nowhere. So I have a question for you, babe. When you decided to marry me, what were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
Yeah, like before you asked me. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
Like before you asked me to marry you, like what was going through your mind exactly? Like there might be some young ladies out there or some young men as well who are in a limbo, like they don't know what's going on. So let's just get an idea of what was going through your mind in that moment when you made the decision, like I want to ask her to marry me.
Okay, I think what gave me, the confidence. I think that's the thrust of your question. The confidence to commit to marriage was your consistency with what you have said, of whom you said you were, basically. So your consistency with your testimony is what gave me assurance and confidence that indeed this is really who you are. There was at no point did I feel that you're being inconsistent with who you said you were as an individual. There was not one point where I had to doubt or question where Cassandra is, you were consistent till this very day. But also I coupled it with a lot of prayer, and even my meeting you was coupled with prayer as well. So it found me praying. It was my desire to get married, and to get married to a God-fearing woman. And so that also gave me assurance in a sense. But also the affirmation I got from my father, my mother, and
thanks, mom and dad,
and the people around me. I remember walking up to dad and asking him if he thought I was ready to lead my own home, and he gave me an affirmative answer. He said he thought he was ready, and so that gave me somewhat of some confidence. Just the affirmation from the people you love. If that isn't there, there's always a sense of fear that this might not go right because the people that you love have think negatively about it. It's been for my close friends who know me. It's been a desire to provide for. It has always been my desire to provide for, and so now I've got a wife to feed,
and she eats.
So that has been my desire, and by the grace of God, He saw it fit.
He made it all possible.
I'm
so glad that you gave that response, because the question I always get a lot from people is, how did you make that decision of getting married? And I always say, for me personally, there was a lot of prayer. Also, the fact that our relationship was defined from the very beginning was very helpful. And I always say to people that I saw attributes in you of a godly man, first of all. I saw attributes of you being a leader of a home, being a husband, a godly husband. I saw that in you. So it's only that gave me confidence to be able to make that decision of getting married. I get this question a lot from young ladies. Like, they just send me messages saying, how did you know? Like, how did you take that step? So it's because of these reasons that I was able to make a concrete decision of getting married. If I didn't see any of these things, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Right.
Yeah. So lots of prayer. Have a relationship that's defined from the very beginning.
Biblical counsel,
and look at this person. You don't just get married because we're in love. You need to make sure, especially for us Christians, you need to make sure that this person is saved, you need to see, like, does this person have the attributes I am looking for in a husband? For me, I saw that, and that's what enabled me to make that decision. And also counsel from people around you. I remember my mom was okay with it. My elder sister, they were all fine with it. Like, no one had any negative thing to say because they knew you. So yeah, that's how we made the decision. Okay, so how has marriage been for you 1 year later?
Um, I always reply to this question, I think, almost the same way as well. I think someone once said that, marriage is a school of holiness. And so it hasn't all been rosy, but I'll be confident to say our joys exceed our sorrows.
Yeah.
Let me not, sorrows is a bit too heavy of a word. So our days, our dark clouds. No, that's even more heavy.
I think what you're trying to say is that the good
outweighs the bad.
bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
the good does outweigh the bad. Definitely.
Yeah, we've had some beautiful memories.
Yeah.
Together from before we were married to now. We've just had some very special moments that I would not exchange or, trade for anything. Like, they have just been so beautiful, and I hold them so dearly in my heart. They have like a small little compartment that's just put away nicely. So
So
I think that's how marriage has been for me as well. It's definitely been a journey of, I always say this, it's been a journey for me, especially of learning and relearning, and also just the aspect of sacrifice, the aspect of not I, but we, and just becoming one. It's been a beautiful experience that I'm still excited about, that I still look forward to every day when I wake up. I remember I'm married. I'm like, whoa, let's go do this. I'm a married woman. So it's just brought so much joy to my heart, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but right here, making this video and telling you guys our love story.
So the 1 year has been good, actually.
Yeah, it's been good.
It's been good. Of course, a few bumps here and there, but they're just slight bumps.
Yeah,
really.
we get right up,
It's also comforting to know that we're not in this alone, and so hearing different stories of how that other people have maybe jesting or arguing about, the tissue paper and how it should be turned this way or that way. We're not the first ones to have had gone through that. So it's also comforting to know that. But it has been beautiful. My advice to young men out there is to really understand that this is an institution that has been ordained by God and must be respected as such, and there are parameters or rules that must govern your commitment to this before and after you commit in marriage. And so having that mindset and thinking biblically will help you have some form of a compass as to what you want in life, in general. And after all, they say life is made up of choices, and so whom you choose to do life with really does matter. It really sets the bearing and sets the course for a lifetime. And so you ought to do that with much prayer, but also engage your faculties and just don't go there blindly. So in a nutshell,
that's how we met, And also that's how marriage is going for us. We hope to make many more videos for you guys like this.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
You're gonna come back because the people like you. The
Okay.
people want to see you. The people want to see you, right? So yeah, guys, that's how we met. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for sitting down and watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, please, 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 please. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Bye.